My name is Holly Matasovich. I'm a professor of engineering education at Virginia Tech. I have the distinct honor of being selected as a mentor for Dr. Amena Shermadou through the Apprentice Faculty Grant Program. Dr. Shermadou, tell us about your engineering education journey.
Hi everyone, my name is Amena Shermadou, a recently minted doctor as of last week. I completed my doctorate in engineering education at The Ohio State University. My background's actually in biomedical engineering, where I completed my degrees at Wright State University, but along the way was fortunate enough to be really involved in the first year engineering program as a teaching assistant. And so that experience awakened me to my passion for engineering education, and so I'm really excited about where my journey has led me up until this point, and as I begin my next chapter at Purdue University as a visiting assistant professor.
What is your engineering education research area?
I think if I were to define what area of engineering education research my work most contributes to, it would fall under the bubble of diversity and inclusion, but more specifically towards developing inclusive pedagogies that create an environment where all engineering students feel comfortable and willing to participate in learning and in engineering education learning. And I think for me, my personal experiences growing up and being visibly different from those around me really forced me to become hyper aware of how my differences made classmates uncomfortable or potentially unwilling or willing to engage with me unless I demonstrated some sort of behavior that conformed with what was deemed as normal by dominant groups in the team that I was working on or in the classroom that I was in. And I think those experiences really strongly informed the lens that I then brought into the classroom in my experiences as a teaching assistant. And so in those roles, I was more cognizant of the environmental and social factors that promoted or prevented the participation of all the students in the engineering teams. And I think that was the spark for me, because I was now in this role in the classroom where I could see that these interactions were not limited to just my personal experiences, but were way more prevalent in the classroom as a whole. And much of the conflicts that I experienced, conflicts that I had to manage in engineering teams typically fell along these lines of when students were encountering cultural differences in their team and not sure of how to engage or how to work with and manage those differences in order to accomplish whatever goal that they were seeking to accomplish within that assignment or within that course. And so going into my engineering education PhD program, I was really motivated to want to change that experience for students. For the students who do feel marginalized, how do we create an environment that encourages their participation? For the students who are interested in engaging across boundaries but aren't really sure how do we build that bridge to facilitate that learning? And so that really motivated me to want to build a career that not only seeks to produce knowledge in the space of how do students manage these encounters with cultural differences in engineering classrooms, but really work towards developing transformational and inclusive pedagogies in engineering that are based on what we learn and generate from people within the space. So from our engineering students, from our engineering educators, from the people who are developing our curriculum. And that truly kind of encompasses what I see in terms of my career and my vision as I pursue positions in the future, tenure track positions in the future, where I'm able to do this type of research.
Did you develop a quarantine hobby?
So this may or may not be my favorite question to be answering, because I finally have an answer to if somebody were to ask me if I have a hobby. I would say my hobby is officially jump roping. I picked it up about a year ago, was looking for some dissertation distraction and a change in my routine. And so I ordered a rope. I started following a bunch of accounts that just posted videos of them jump roping, which was really soothing. And then I found that the actual doing of jump roping was also very soothing for me. It was something that I can control every single day. I felt like the habit translated into my other activities going on in my life, and that was all positive. And so I highly recommend it. If anybody has any questions of where to start, just hit me up. I love talking about jump roping and could probably do a whole video about it. So definitely let me know if you're interested in starting your jump roping journey.